Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Storytime Fun. I dedicate this next book to my grandson, Tendered and Verdewed. Today's personalized VeggieTales story is called The Island of the Caribbeans by Cindy Kenny. And the mission commander for the first mission possible is Denver. The get-up-and-go machine is ready for its first mission, Pa Grape announced as he finished the old mail truck's engine. Which of you is going to drive? Bob the tomato hopped forward. Why, me, of course. No way, Jose, Larry the cucumber said. I'm the Grand Prix Turbo 5000 racing game champion. I'll drive. Hold everything, Pa interrupted. We'll let mission control decide. He pressed the special delivery button inside the truck and... whir, shimmy, beep! Out popped a special delivery envelope. Larry read the note. It says that a boy named Denver has been chosen to be the commander of our first VeggieTales mission possible. Let me see that, Bob insisted. It says Denver was chosen because he is so fun and enthusiastic. Then there's just one question. Are you Denver? Denver, as Mission Possible Commander, you'll lead this team on a top secret mission. Your job is to always help those in need. First mate Larry Cucumber reporting for duty, Larry shouted as he jumped in the front seat. Oh no, Bob corrected. I'm Denver's first mate. Pa Grape broke in. This mission is all about caring. I think you both better go along and learn how to care about others. Bob, Larry, and Denver buckled their seatbelts. Purple wings popped out of the get-up-and-go machine, and zoom! They were off. Ring, 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 ring! Hello? Bob answered the bright red phone that was mounted in the middle of the dashboard. Hello, Bob. This is Mission Control. Please remove the mission map from your mailbag and listen as I explain your mission. This is the island of the Caribbeans. Long ago, this island was a beautiful place. The beings who lived here were known for their great kindness. Everyone wanted to visit, but the visitors were selfish. They didn't say thank you, and they started to bother the beans. Soon, the beans stopped caring about the visitors and the island. They even stopped caring about each other. The beans' hearts became so heavy that the island started sinking into the sea. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to show the beans that God wants them to care about each other. This will lighten their hearts and save the island. Thwomp! Something hit the get-up-and-go machine, causing it to sputter. Beware, Mission Control continued. There are Navy beans patrolling the island for unwanted visitors, and all visitors are unwanted on the island of the Caribbeans. Wonk! We're being pelted by bean bags, Larry shouted. Incoming! Swing, swoop, schmack! The truck wobbled. Hang on, shouted Denver. We're going in. Swoof! The get-up-and-go machine landed safely on the beach, thanks to Denver's expert driving. As Denver, Bob, and Larry got out of the truck, they couldn't believe what they saw. The island was a mess. They were greeted by a group of jumping beans playing 70 bean trombones, but the jumping beans had lost their jump, and they were all playing off key. "Stop that blasted noise!" shouted the angry red bean. Then he turned to Bob and Larry and Denver. "You're not welcome here. Leave at once." A bean in a uniform came over to Larry. "My name's Captain Red Bean, commander of the PBA. That's Pinto Bean Army." "I'm Larry the Cucumber, and these are my friends Bob the Tomato and Denver. We've come to help save your island." "And how do you think you'll do that?" The captain laughed. "Leave at once." Gluggle, 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 sploosh. "What was that?" the beans yelled. A navy bean searched the shoreline through his binoculars and shouted, "It's the island, sir! It's starting to sink!" "Blast!" Captain Red Bean groaned. "Captain Red Bean, do you know why the beans have such heavy hearts?" Denver asked. "Aye, it all started when we got tired of the tourists being so ungrateful. We decided if they didn't care about us, we wouldn't care about them. Now there isn't any one of us that cares about anything." "God wants us to care about others, no matter what," Denver said. "Just think what the world would be like if everyone stopped caring about one another. We would never have any fun at all." "Aye, matey, that would be a true disaster," the captain agreed. "I think you better go see the Meister. He's the only one who can fix this mess. He lives up there at the top of the tallest beanstalk. Use your map. You'll find him." At the top of the stalk, Bob, Larry, and Denver were greeted by a small sprout. "Are you here to see my daddy?" "We sure are," answered Larry. Glump! Suddenly the beanstalk trembled and shook. The little sprout wobbled. "Be careful, little guy," Denver said as he helped him. Just then the Beanmeister and his wife came out to see what was going on. Splash! "What's happening?" the Beanmeister cried. "The island is sinking because your hearts have become so heavy," Denver explained. "We have to do something now." "What can we do?" the Beanmeister asked. "The tourists were so mean to us, we can't just be nice to them." "God wants us to be kind to everyone," Denver said. "If all the beans would do that, their hearts would be lighter. Besides, think about how much fun we can have together if we all just get along." Glunk! "Daddy, we're sinking!" cried the little sprout. "Oh dear, I've been such a bumblebean," the Beanmeister moaned. "I never stopped to think about what God wanted us to do." "But what can we do now?" Bob explained that this was a mission possible, and Denver was appointed mission commander because he is enthusiastic. Bob was certain that with Denver's help, they would all be able to save the island of the Caribbeans. "But it's not always easy to care about people you don't like," the little sprout said. "That's why we have to remember how much God cares about us," Denver explained. "It doesn't matter if we forget to thank him. He just keeps on caring." The Beanmeister family smiled at the thought of a God who cares so much. "Let's hurry down and tell the others," the bean sprout cheered. So Bob, Larry, and Denver headed down the beanstalk. "Hurry, everybody," Bob called as he slipped from one leaf to the next. "The island is sinking fast." But Bob wasn't using the map Captain Redbean gave them, and he made a wrong turn and slipped and fell. Oh! As Bob tried to get up, the entire beanstalk began to sway, causing him to slip farther down the leaf. Oh! Hang on, Bob! Larry called. Denver looked down and realized that every bean on the island was climbing onto the beanstalk to get away from the rising water. Oh, the weight on the stalk got heavier and heavier, causing it to sway. The beanstalk won't hold everyone, the Bean Meister said as he grabbed a megaphone and called down to all the beans. Please stop where you are and listen. The beans stopped climbing onto the stalk and stood quietly. Denver took the megaphone and told the beans how much God cares about each one of them. He told the beans that caring about others would lighten their hearts, which would save the island from sinking. Shroomp! The island sank a little more. The time had come. It was up to the beans. What would they do? Help! Bob's cry from high up on the stalk broke the silence. The beans began to climb again, but this time they weren't scrambling to save themselves. They wanted to help Bob. The fire beans grabbed their tallest ladders. The Air Force beans jumped into their helicopters. Just as Bob was about to slip off the end of the leaf, a lasso wrapped around his waist. He felt a ladder beneath his body, and he was looking eye to eye with an Air Force bean hanging from a chopper. Bob was surrounded by caring beans. When everyone was back on the warm sand of the beach, the celebration began. Denver, Bob, and Larry were invited to stay for a barbecue. They played beanie ball and made beautiful castles in the sand. At the end of the day, they all had a bonfire, and the Beanmeister sang, "My beanie lies over the ocean," accompanied by the jumping beans with their trombones, still slightly out of tune. Captain Redbean stood up and said, "Thank you, Denver, Bob, and Larry. Not only did you save our island, but you found a buried treasure of love deep in our hearts. Thanks to Denver and his enthusiastic, happy heart." All the light-hearted beans cheered. Yay! Beep, beep, buzz! The get-up-and-go machine started to crank up its engine. Denver, Bob, and Larry knew it was time to say farewell. "Bean voyage!" the carabines shouted. The Mission Possible team climbed on board the get-up-and-go machine and flew toward the sky. Denver watched as the island of the carabines disappeared behind them. Ring, ring, ring! Just as Bob answered the bright red phone, the get-up-and-go machine took a sharp turn downward. A light on the dashboard flashed the word, "Dive, dive, dive!" Splash! The machine plunged into the ocean. Denver looked over at Bob and Larry and smiled. A new Mission Possible was about to begin. And this is a hint of what adventure number 2 lays in store for us. Well, that's it for today. Stay tuned for Mission Possible 2.